Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the damn Q&A. Thank you for being a fan, thank you for joining. There's the first question. How's your day been so far? Pretty cool so far. Been playing Octopath Traveler 2 on the PlayStation 5. I got the PS4 version because someone told me that the PS5 activated some kind of fan within the PS5. The PS5 version activated some kind of fan, the internal fan, and sometimes it overheats. So I was like, man, okay, I better get the PS4 version, which was a good decision because if I had gotten the PS5 version, I wouldn't have been able to continue on from where I left off in the demo. And in the demo, I completed 3 characters as chapters, right? So when I got the PS4 version, I put it on my PlayStation 5, and it offered me an upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. I was like, free upgrade. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah, baby, bring it on. So I upgraded, and I couldn't continue. So I was like, no, I'm fine with the PS4 version. Thanks. And now it let me continue from my archive, my file, my save data from the demo, which was released like 10,000 years ago. It's old as fuck already. That's a thing of the past. That's retro already, the demo. Yeah, and I've been having a blast. I also finished Trials of Mana remake on the Switch a few days ago before Octopath, and I loved it. You know, it's not a masterpiece, it's not like, my god, the best fucking remake ever made. No, it isn't, you know, but it's a really good game. It's one of those games that gets better the more you advance. The beginning is kind of like okay-ish, controls aren't that great, camera and combat and story, you know, but as you make progress, you know, you start falling in love with it, slowly start falling in love with it, and by the end of the game you fucking loved it. And I beat the post game, something I rarely do in JRPGs, I know, but I beat the post game of Trials of Mana. Pretty much 3 boss fights and then a special dungeon and a final boss, it was pretty challenging, but you know, I broke my character Angela. She's known for being broken in this remake. I don't remember her being that broken in the original game, but she's fucking broken in this remake, and I broke her, and I pretty much destroyed everything and everyone with Angela. And I had a blast. Trials of Mana on the Switch. It's also on PS4. Great remake, guys. It's totally worth it, especially because it's dirt cheap. I've seen it for like $20, $15 quite often. Pick it up. It's definitely worth your time. You broke her so I can fix her? Okay, go and fix Angela, man. Who wouldn't want to fix Angela? Jesus, man. I mean, wow. She is some of the best, and I mean absolute best fan service I've seen in my entire gaming life. Your opinion of the most poor story in RPGs. One of the worst fucking stories I've seen is Omega Quintet. The game isn't bad, it's got a really interesting battle system actually, but the story's garbage. It's like idle garbage. And like really into that, you know, like that's the whole point of the story. So, man, that's a really bad story. Make You Labyrinth on the PS Vita, another one that is like hot garbage, man. It's pretty horrible, man. Like, Final Fantasy X-2, I think that should be the fucking king, man. Oh my god. I added a lot of music today from like random games. There's a lot of music that's not from RPGs, so don't ask if I know some of them. I downloaded all of these songs when I started making those Hidden Gems videos a couple of years ago on my second channel. So I haven't memorized some of these songs. Some I know. This one I have no idea where it's from. I guess it's kind of cool, huh? When playing Star Ocean 2 Remake, did you notice some characters were better than in the original? I heard some of them were buffed. Well, I played the original so many years ago, like, I think the last time I played it was on the PSP, and it was only for a few hours, and that was aeons ago, like 7, 8 years ago maybe. And no, I didn't notice that Claude is just as broken as in the original games. I didn't notice any differences. Had I played the original versions like more recently, I would have noticed, but because I played it so long ago, I couldn't notice if certain characters were more buffed, like you say. I have no idea. I wanted to ask you if you know of any RPG that have a skeleton as a playable character. Okay, so Chrono Cross. He's an optional character. His name is Skelly, and you need to find his body parts. Yeah. And once you find them all, he joins your party, and he's a badass character. He's a really strong character, Skelly from Chrono Cross. Thank you, Kent Maddox. I can't think of another skeleton as a party member right now. You can capture some of the monsters in Dragon Quest Monsters and Dragon Quest Heroes and use them as I mean, they aren't exactly playable, so no, that doesn't count. Anyway, so Skelly definitely, man. Okay, so Valkyrie Profile 2 Silmeria and Radiata Stories, right? Which would I like to see remade or remaster? I want both. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think a remake is necessary, maybe for Radiata Stories, because the controls aren't great anymore. It didn't age that well, but it didn't age bad yet. Silmeria aged perfectly well, but it's not that old. It's merely 15 years old or 16. It's not that old yet. It's still fucking beautiful. It's fucking perfect, man. So it does not need some kind of remake or anything of the sort right now. A remaster though, you know, with like improved graphics, 4K graphics, fuck yeah, please. So can I pick both? But if I had to pick just one, it would be Valkyrie. I mean, because it's still exclusive on the PS2. Nobody can play it unless they buy it on the PS2. It's not that expensive, and there's a greatest hits version, but, you know, people need it on the Switch, right? Or on the PS4 and PS5. Hell, I do. I do too. That's my second favorite game of all time. Radiata needs it the most, I believe, because it's such an underrated masterpiece. Well, no, I don't think it's a masterpiece. Not really. But it's a really good game. And I think it needs the remaster the most, or more like a re-release, some kind of re-release for modern systems. Because Valkyrie, a lot of people played that game. Radiata Stories, not a lot of people played it. So, there you go. A Yuden Chronicle is going to have a skeleton member. Oh really? That's gonna be fun. You ever played Soul Nomad? Yes, I did on the PS2 and also on the Switch. The Switch was supposed to be some kind of remaster, but it isn't. But yeah, it looks better as opposed to Phantom Brave, which also comes on the Switch with Soul Nomad, called Preemie Classics Volume 1, I believe. Soul Nomad is a really good game, but it's one of those games that starts really fucking easy, and then it starts getting slowly pretty damn hard. So be warned, but I really like the game and I do strongly recommend it. Especially the Switch version. I think it's the best version to play of it. Did you know that Penny Blood is releasing a side game? Oh, just like a Yuden Chronicle? It's a roguelike though. Do you have a favorite JRPG ROM hack on any console? Yes, I think I'm gonna have to go with Fire Emblem Requiem. And it's a ROM hack on the Game Boy Advance. I'm a big fan of Fire Emblem, so I love that game, and I think the story and the gameplay far surpasses some of the main titles, like Fates, for example. I'd rather play Requiem than Fates, or even Awakening. Not that those games are bad, they're still pretty good, but Requiem was like, man, yeah, some fans out there can come up with great games and great stories. Too bad, I mean, well, it's free, it's a free game, anybody can play it. But yeah, definitely, man, the best ROM hack I ever played in my life, Fire Emblem Requiem. Do you only play RPGs from the big companies, or did you ever play in an RPG Maker game that you liked? I play RPGs from a lot of companies. Obscure, small, big, medium, AA, AAA, low budget, all RPGs. And I have played some RPG Maker games. In fact, if you would like to check out a compilation video that I did called Playing Some Games on RPG Maker, the one on the PlayStation 5, it's called RPG Maker MV Player, and I played a bunch of RPGs from there. And I finished one, it isn't there, but I finished one called Succubus Apothecary Risa, and it's a fantastic game. It's like 10-hour long game, but the humor, man, the story, the writing in there is supreme. Yeah, so check that video out and check out Succubus Apothecary Risa. That's a great game on RPG Maker. You ever heard of Tears of Magic? No, I heard of Tears of Avia. Hey, wait a second. It's a Breath of Fire inspired RPG that's releasing next year. Oh, wait a second. I remember a couple of years ago, I'm not sure if it's the same game, but the only Breath of Fire inspired RPG was an indie RPG that the developers reached out to me like a couple of years ago to ask me if I would be interested in supporting the Kickstarter and therefore, you know, supporting the game and stuff like that. Yeah, it wasn't 2 years ago, it was more like a year and a half ago. So they said that if I promoted the Kickstarter and the game for free, you know, they will grant me an interview with her, with the composer. And I said yes. So that was a deal, but the Kickstarter failed and it disappeared. So I thought the game had, like, it wasn't developed. So now it's going to be developed and it's going to be released next year. I don't know if it's the same game. Hopefully it is. Yoshino Aoki, thanks, yeah. Imagine, man, I was going to interview Yoshino Aoki. But yeah, it didn't happen because the Kickstarter failed. So he picked up? I didn't know that. Thanks, Kiss. Did you play any only in Japan Summer Night games? No, I know some of them and I've been tempted to play some of them. I think some of them are fan translated, but I haven't played a single one of them. I've only played the Game Boy Advance spin-offs, which came out of Japan. Pretty good games, especially the first one. The one on the Nintendo DS, it's called Twin Age. It's lame, man. It's kind of bad. And then 5 and 6. 5 is on PSP. Decent game, it's good. 6 is the better game, but it's a crossover, and you get a lot of characters across the series that, well, we don't know because we never got those games. It's on the PS4 and PS Vita. I got the PS4 version. Pretty good game. Bullshit final boss, but pretty solid game. And I know the voice acting in English is terrible, but hopefully you can pull through it. But I haven't played a single of the only in Japan games. Okay, so going back to Tears of Magic, they have still been developing it. I think they will do another Kickstarter. Okay. Hopefully they'll reach out and we'll do some kind of deal, if at least to get the review code. Penny Blood is a game that's being developed from the Shadow Hearts creators. Yes, the same guys. What about the RPG that made you rage quit? Did you write a script? Do you write a script or do you just do them? Because I really like how you can feel the anger you have. I just do them. I've never written a script for one of those videos. It's been 6 videos so far, and I don't script them and I don't rehearse them. Because some videos that I've done in the past that weren't scripted. For example, the cheap RPGs that I strongly recommend. I think I did like 5 videos and only one of them was scripted. But the first ones from last year, they weren't scripted, but I kinda rehearsed them, okay? But the Rage Quit videos, no script, no rehearsal, no planning, no nothing, just the list of games. And I'm like, okay, in this game made me angry because of this, so yeah, it's on the list. And then I narrow down the list to 10 of them, and I just sit down and record, like fresh, completely fresh, no rehearsal at all whatsoever, or script whatsoever. So everything you see in those videos is real. Of course, it's a bit exaggerated to make you laugh, to make them funny, but the anger is real. I mean, those games legitimately pissed the shit out of me, man. Why haven't they remastered Drakengard 3 on modern systems? I don't know, I guess Square Enix cares a little bit more about the near games than those games. But yeah, we definitely need some kind of remaster for the entire trilogy. Maybe the trilogy in some kind of collection with upscaled visuals and better frame rate and controls for the first game? Maybe one day, right? I think one of the reasons might be because that game is offensive. Okay, if you play the game and you finish the game, yeah, it might offend modern audiences. The crystal generation that controls this world and has all the power. It's a pretty offensive game. So that's why Square Enix, Social Justice Square Enix, will probably never remaster it. There's a theory on why they haven't done it. Do you know about this soon-to-be released game called The Unicorn Overlord? You bet your ass I do. That's one of my favorite companies of all time, Vanillaware, and I'm really looking forward to it. My main concern is that some of the gameplay graphics look very generic, which is kind of like a no for a Vanillaware game. Hopefully they will improve by the release date. I don't think they will. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, I'm a Vanillaware diehard fan, so yeah. Should JRPGs get easier or harder as the game progresses? Harder, of course. I mean, well, I guess if you grind a lot and you find a way to break them with, like, you do a lot of side content and you get overpowered, I mean, they do get easier. And that's what a lot of people like nowadays. It's not like they want the game to get easier. I think it's more about breaking the game so it gets easier. And I think that takes a bit of the fun out of it, but to each their own. I guess the process of breaking a game is hard enough. So the fact that you finally break the game and you destroy everything like I did in Star Ocean 2, it's rewarding in some kind of sense. You know, I did that and it felt great. But yeah, I mean, video games, any kind of video game should definitely get a little bit more challenging as time progresses, as you progress. Why would it get easier? I mean, no. But I don't think they should get like stupidly hard. I don't like that. I hate difficulty spikes. Do you think Redemption Reapers did enough for a sequel? I don't think so. Or is it a one-off thing? Man, I love that game. Did you finish the game, Kiss? If you finish the game, you should know that there's no way it can get a sequel, if you know what I mean. So, I don't think it's gonna get one, man. Unless something different happened in the ending, I don't know, but let's leave it at that. Let's not spoil anything. But I mean, it will be pretty hard to get a direct sequel. Maybe a new game in the same universe, right? With different characters. I would love a new Utawarerumono game. Me too, but they are different developers. Utawarerumono is developed by Aqua Plus. Different guys. But yeah, Utawarerumono, we got Monochrome Mobius. That's pretty much a new Utawarerumono game, came out last year on Steam. And this year it was ported to consoles, PS4 and PS5. So, yeah. But I get it, you know, you want a new game with the name Utawarerumono. That will be interesting. I would prefer a Monochrome Mobius 2, but like with different characters. Like maybe a sequel to Mask of Truth, or some, I don't know, a prequel to Prelude to the Fallen, or a direct sequel to it, I don't know. Something like that. What the hell are we listening to? I think this is from Waku Waku 7. That's a fighting game. Pretty good fighting game. I think it came out on Dreamcast or the Sega Saturn, and only in Japan. And then it got released on the Switch a few years ago, worldwide. I could be wrong, I don't know what this fucking song is from. But it's cool. It sounds like a select your character type of theme. It's probably from Waku Waku 7. Did you play Mon Yu? Defeat monsters and gain strong weapons and armor. You may be defeated, but don't give up. Become stronger. I believe there will be a day when the heroes defeat the Devil King. I can't believe you bothered writing the entire subtitle of that game. No, I didn't play it. That's a great subtitle, man. The guys who developed that's genius. But nobody's gonna remember that name. Nobody. Everybody's just gonna go with Mon Yu. The longest subtitle ever beats the Atelier games. Some of the Atelier games, man. Like Atelier Ryza. Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout. A fucking subtitle, man. But no one's ever gonna beat that one. Mon Yu. Anyway, I didn't play the game.